Welcome to For the Love of Brickle. Hey, how you doing? So glad to meet ya. Come and just voice just for a few. Hello, good day, and howdy do. Welcome, my people. I'm your girl For the Love of Brickle. You know, I get ups and downs of things that occur in movies, TV shows, etc. So, it all started when two female cousins, Teresa and Jessica, and also Jessica's boyfriend, Caleb, were vacating at a lake house cabin. Now, Teresa was busy reading a book by the lake, and she was fully in tune with her headphones on, only to be startled by Caleb's flying toy airplane. So, she went to check up on Jessica, who was extremely ill, but was discovered not only ill, but possessed. People, when I saw this scene, I was like, oh hell no. I'm not staying for this because firstly, no way I would see my cousin laying lifelessly on the bed. So secondly, all of a sudden, sitting straight up on the bed with her back facing me and stay and wait for a shh to happen. No way. I would be running faster than a jet boat without looking back, nor would I warn her boyfriend Caleb. So Jessica removed the scalp from Teresa's head like she caring about her didn't count. But as for Caleb, he was decapitated. Jessica levitated over the lake while Teresa watched her breathlessly. This movie started off with a bang. This was a whooping 4 out of 10 from me already, and this was just the beginning of the show. Now on to our next family. So, here we have 3 kids, 2 teenagers, Danny, which is Mr. Curious, Bridget, who is Miss Cautious, and their very vulnerable kid sister Cassie. They live with their single mother, Ellie, who is a tattoo artist. Ellie was visited by her estranged sister Beth, who is a guitar technician, that discovered she was pregnant. Ellie's nickname for her sister is Groupie, which was known by many. So, on having family discussion around the table, Beth wasn't informed of her sister Ellie's separation, so their mother sent them out to get pizza so that she and her sister can, catch up on a few things. Now, after the kids collected the pizza and was now in the basement parking lot, an earthquake happened. When it settled, before they made their ways back to their apartment like normal children would, no, Danny had a bright idea and made his way down to a hole that was made in the parking lot, discovering an old bank vault that had been buried for 100 years now. He discovered it, packed 3 phonograph records from 1923. Suddenly he heard a creaking sound, which was a Jesus sculpture swaying towards him. This is when I thought, yup, he'll be out of there faster than a bat out of hell. Nope. Not Danny. He was determined to find more. He continued making his way to a ceiling filled with many religious chains and other religious artifacts. But before I go any further, please remember to like, share, subscribe, and click that notification bell. Please remember to leave a comment in the comment section. Make sure it's humorous, vibesy, and all those good things. He went even further in discovering a creepy, scary looking book. I must remind you, this book was found in a cracked concrete looking box that be cracked open when Danny got near to it. It was covered in flying creepy looking bugs, and it was wrapped in some old cloth. with all that. And oh boy, the book was hissing as if there were some evil spirits trapped in it. Now imagine, worried mom Ellie and her sister just wanted to find out if the kids are okay. But soon after they arrived back at their apartment with Mom and Beth, in time before they went looking for them, Lily can see rumbling that, "Oh Mom, Bridget dropped the pizza." "I know," Mom said. "I love you kids more than pizza." So, Danny and Bridget were in the room looking at the creepy looking book Dan had discovered. After the thief at the side of the book beat him, taking blood droplets from him, Bridget told him to close the book and return it back tomorrow. But Danny was so intrigued by this book that he continued skipping even more pages. Of course, when Bridget wasn't around. So, he started by playing the first phonograph records and discovering that the creepy book is called The Book of the Dead. Pastor Father Marcus Littlegun said, and a voice shrieked, "Destroy the book. It's called the Book of the Dead for a reason." But no, Danny wasn't spooked enough. He still continued playing the phonograph record until he had absolutely no control over it, that he's trying to stop it and getting electrocuted. At this moment, the evil book was skipping faster and wilder on its own as well. He heard a horrific screeching sound through his speaker and immediately knew an evil spirit has been released in the air. Not knowing that this evil witch spirit was heading full force to their mother, who was just minding her own business, carrying a box of what appeared to be the kid's father's clothes, to just stepping out of the elevator to being pushed back in for a chaotic ride in the elevator with the demon spirit. She was now half human and half demon, because she was still able to make it back home to her kids. I was really touched and terrified at the same time. Touched because she knew she had to make it back home to her kids and try to prepare a meal, and she tried hard to function, but terrified because we all know she's about to get worse. Now, when their mom was up in the wall of the ceiling, I was already convinced that there's nothing she could say to me, and I believe because she is the living, walking, crawling demon with those bulgy, piercing, bloodshot, evil eyes, gruesome smile, not to mention those nails. No way she could convince me. Those nails were very scrawny, of course. When you see something like this, you know immediately that prayer alone can't work. I honestly would have lost all faith. What made me angry the most was that Danny kept his mouth shut the entire time this was happening until Bridget caught up with him. By this time, Ellie had already damaged Gabe, their so caring neighbor. She bit out his eyeball, choking on his eyeball and spitting it in the mouth of another neighbor's. The hell? choking him. I was so heartbroken to see Bridget and her mother, more like her demon mother, rolling back and forth with her on the ground until Ellie scraped her right under her eye. I immediately drew a conclusion that Bridget was next. She will soon turn into one too, because Ellie definitely infected her with that nasty scar. This part of the movie definitely earned a further 2 points, especially when Bridget couldn't give Danny a good whooping for effing up everything, but she surely showed him how it's done in demon form, even though he did in turn set her ablaze, including he died after. Okay, so the most hilarious part for me was when demonic Ellie was locked out of the house and was trying to convince little Cassie, who is the most vulnerable, to open the door. So Ellie started off by singing a lullaby, which influenced, little Cassie make her way closer to the door. When she knew she was near, she literally stopped singing. And this was happening when she was outside, sitting with her foot crossed, with her back turned to the door, Whoa. I would say her spider senses were tingling. Ellie was like, "Oh, there you are." Very scared, Cassie said, "What's wrong with you, Mom?" Then, Ellie gave her a fake story saying, Dad came back. She was like, "We love each other, right, darling?" And blow him a kiss, fake dad, like he's not even there. Cassie was like, "You don't look so good, Mom." Mom is like, "There's nothing that a big old hug and kiss can't fix. Open up now." Open the door. Her mom grabbed her in the neck. Good thing the chains at the door stopped the door from opening too wide, so Beth could actually catch up to what Ellie's plan was and saved Cassie. Now honestly, with all this happening, all I could think about the most was Beth, because she's pregnant, and instead of going to chill and feel at home with her family just for a peace of mind, she had no choice but to play hero by defending herself from her own sister Ellie, her daughter Bridget, Dan. Oh gosh, the very helpful neighbors now seem to be zombified. Oh no. Oh, priest, you too. Oh man. I'm surprised she kept saying when she saw all this. But as us Jamaicans say, when trouble hit you, picnic shot hit you. Meaning, when push comes to shove, she found her strength to fight. One thing for sure, that little girl Cassie gave her that little ray of hope to put up a fight. Honestly. Not to mention, that little girl wasn't just vulnerable, but brave and helpful when she tried defeating her sister Bridget with her very own favorite toy. And also the part when her demonic mother was trying to out Beth and her baby. So she just slid her a pair of scissors, which was thrown down carelessly earlier that day. Came in handy, huh? This is the part where putting down things carelessly actually does come in handy in the long run. It came in handy and saved Beth and her baby. Nice going, Cassie. They earned a further 1.5 points. So now we're at 7.5 points so far. Now the part where the children merged with Ellie's body, turning them into a creature called Marauder, was like, damn, not only was the demon ugly, but now it was triple ugly. I call it. Okay, now the part where Beth and little Cassie were, as it seems to be, playing Peekaboo, I see you around the car in the parking lot. When the creature turned its head backs to them, its physical structure reminded me of the horror show The Thing. Yeah. And of course the final finale, when Beth defeated the demon and saved little Cassie from the Marauder and escape. I know they were going to go further across the globe to live their new family life together. And now we come to our classic ending called the open ending. This is where we find out the wicked witch spirit still lives and enters a new host, which turns out to be Jessica. You remember Jessica from the beginning? Yep. Now we know how Jessica got possessed. This show is a whopping 9 out of 10 for me. So yes, there's hope that there might be a part 2. So yes, people, I'm your girl for the love of Brickle. You know, I was giving the ups and downs of things that occur in movies, TV shows, etc. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and click the notification bell. Please remember to leave a comment in the comment section. Make sure it's humorous, vibesy, and all those good things. I hope you all enjoyed yourselves. I love you all. Peace. Mwah.